crew would like to welcome everybody to New Orleans.
Maman veut pas qu'on joue de banjo ici. Maman veut pas qu'on joue de banjo ici. Ah oui, mais même si maman veut pas du banjo, non, non, maman veut pas qu'on joue de banjo ici.
I've never found Ejin at these things at all. Never, ever, ever. That's all you can say? I'm sorry. You're not a happy.
I tried to make things. I didn't know how to sew, but I was like, I'm gonna cut this out and fabric glue it together and see what happens. It was decent for like my first time attempting anything ever. And eventually, I started sewing like more and more and more.
Right.
She didn't think I was gonna cosplay all the time. But I was just like, yes, I am. And then eventually, she got kind of like, I don't know. She stopped caring for it. And then that turns into, Brett, you're wearing women's clothing. Oh no, you're crossplay. No.
There's just a bed there.
Okay, this is actually a work. Oh my god. You have lots of room to work in.
Yeah.
Like my parents, I'm first generation Vietnamese over here. Like my parents were not from here, and I was born here. So, what'd you say, Rachel?
Put it where you want it on your body.
Just about here. Dark eye, they looked appropriate.
Thank you. There's the warbler.
Yes, I don't know if we're gonna be using that actually.
This right here?
Yeah, she just won that from another cosplayers contest.
I remember my first con, I was like 11. My mom was like, hey, there's a Comic-Con, and you want to go to it? I was like, sure. So she took me to, I think it was MegaCon. And she took me, and she's like, this is so weird. Okay, we won't do this again. But then next year, I was like, we're going to do this again. And then we're going to do it all weekend instead of just one day. And then 6 years later.
How did I get started cosplaying? I have always been a big video gamer. And my friends were just saying, well, I've always wanted to go to an anime convention, and I never knew that there was one in New Orleans, which is MechaCon. And my friends were pretty much saying, oh, well, if you want to go, the best way to get the full effect is if you cosplay. And I thought it was lame. I hated it. I hated the idea of it because I thought it was like really weird. I thought only like weird people did it. Whenever I googled cosplay, you only saw like, you know, the man Sailor Moons or, you know, just like the gag cosplays. And I was like, I don't want to be that. But after a while, my friend finally convinced me to make my first costume. And then I really just asked my mom. I was like, hey, Mom, teach me how to sew. And she was like, no. I'm not going to teach you how to sew because boys don't sew, you know? You're supposed to go to school, worry about that. Don't waste money on silly things like this. And I was like, well, I kind of want to do this. But yeah, it's like, it can actually be kind of put together now, too.
Nice.
That goes right there. Big sword later. So I've never done that before either. So it's always a learning experience.
I always wanted to be a singer. I don't have a voice, you know, and I don't like to get up in front of people, but I've gotten used to doing that because when she gets on stage, she's there. You know, she was made for the stage. And so when I put my costume on this year, it was like make way for Ursula. And I'm going, my goodness, I've never had that much attention put on me in that particular way. And I'm going, oh my goodness. So I kind of got into it.
In a quarter mile, turn left.
So even though we're in New Orleans, you actually spend 7 months in Hawaii. And so, what was the convention scene like there in Hawaii?
It's kind of tiny, but the cosplay scene and the nerd scene in general is really good, really friendly, and really big.
Was it easier do you have to do it on mail order back in Hawaii? Or was it most everything kind of you can find?
Most stuff I can find. It's hard to find craft foam and stuff. They don't have any craft stores. So anything you need that's not fabric is kind of hard to get your hands on.
Are you planning on going back anytime soon?
I'll be back in the summer, so I wish I could go back for Kawaii Con, but it's too much money to fly there just to come back here and leave again.
Very true, very true.
So, and it's taught me, definitely, I've grown up a lot since I started doing it, and I started doing this in 2008, and I started heavily doing it in 2012, and just that year, like, so much changed. I feel like it changed my person completely.
My card. It's a Buick Park Avenue. You can just park right next to it.
Okay, so just go behind the building. This is amazing. This is the first time I've actually seen internet cable strung from here down there all the way down.
They have it strung up so they don't roll over when they move along.
Smart. Are you bothering her? Are you bothering her?
His favorite thing to do is sit underneath the desk when I'm sewing. I went to my first convention when I was like 11, I guess. I went to A-Con, which for a first convention is a little
It's a little big.
little big. This would have been 2000, 2001 or so. So we made Samina and Cassandra from Soul Calibur 2 nights, completely hot glued together. Awful, awful, awful. And it was a lot of fun, but I still wasn't convinced. It wasn't like when you talk to a lot of cosplayers, like, oh, I did it once and then that was it. No. No, it took me 3 years to get into it seriously, and it was mostly because of the Louisiana cosplay community, actually. When I moved out here, I didn't know anyone out here aside from my fiance. He's from here originally. And my friend's like, hey, you should join this group. I was like, I know you're not like a huge cosplayer, but I think you can at least become friends with some of these people. And I realized the community was really, really nice.
I worked as a puppeteer for about a year.
Really? So is this something you were into like since you were a kid?
Yeah. I've always been a huge fan of like the Muppets, and I think Labyrinth is one of my favorite movies ever.
Oh, nice. So you get that movement down, yeah? Oh, dude. When you guys first met.
That is when we first met.
Wait a minute. This is on your Facebook?
It probably is somewhere.
So, what year was this?
This was 2008.
Oh, so that was like 4, 5, 6, almost 6.
4.
Awesome. This is actually a toaster.
I do it and I get better at what I do, but I don't really have, before I started, I didn't really have a whole lot of friends, honestly, so this has definitely like helped me branch out and meet a whole bunch of new people and be comfortable with who I am, what I do, and stuff like that. All my life I've like princesses and pretty dresses and stuff like that, so like being the first thing that I ever cosplayed was a ball gown, so that's just what I learned to make, and everything. I guess I've just always been attracted to that like pretty dress, big hoop skirts and detailed like everything, like princess dresses, sparkly things, I guess. So
Lit up when it's at night. Drive-thru if you want. No. You want to go inside?
Yeah. We go inside.
I hate doing drive-thrus. You want to stay? You can stay.
fire. Just toss it in there. Oh, wow.
People always say you're happy.